right, so now we've got the recording going. This is our first construction partner webinar of 2023. Appreciate everybody joining here and excited about kicking off this webinar series again for 2023 with ISV partners, some internal Acumatica folks we've got lined up, some new ISV partners coming on board. So we're excited about the webinar and the series. We'll be announcing, each month who our guests will be on the webinar via our Teams channel. So keep an eye out for that. If you have questions during today's webinar, feel free to raise your hand and I will unmute you to ask your question, or you can utilize the chat feature in the toolbar of the Teams meeting that we're on here today. For any questions that you have, you can ask them during the session. You can ask them at the end. We'll have some time at the end of the session for Q&A as well. I have just one slide that I want to share with you guys today. I wanted to let you know we are at the World of Concrete as we speak. World of Concrete 2023 going on in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a couple of shots from yesterday from the World of Concrete, and you can see our team there in the yellow shirts and Mr. Hoffman there in the long sleeve blue shirt there, our Director of Product Management, Joel. So we're excited to kick off the new year with our first trade show, World of Concrete, and we've got a couple more coming up. This is a big year for construction trade shows. We've got the International Builders Show, which is happening the exact same week as our summit. So some of us will be pulling double duty, going back and forth between Summit and the Builder Show in Las Vegas, also at the Convention Center. And then in the middle of March, this is a ConExpo year. So the ConExpo trade show, I believe, is the 14th through the 18th or 19th of March. And that's also in Vegas. It's the world's largest construction trade show. We'll be there, of course, in full force. That's a Tuesday through Saturday show. That show goes from Las Vegas to Europe to China, rotates. That's why it's every 3 years here in the US. So we're super excited about this being a ConExpo year and representing Acumatica construction at that ConExpo show. All right, enough about that. Let's get to today's guests. We have Dave Knowles, CEO and founder of TopBuilder, and Reese Leonetti from TopBuilder, business development executive. That'll be presenting here in today's show. Dave will be talking about the integration between the Acumatica construction product and the TopBuilder product. So we're super excited to welcome Dave and Reese to the presentation. So Dave, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, stop talking, and turn the floor over to you.
Okay, Mike, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Got you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Got your screen. Good to go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, first of all, thanks everybody for joining, and thank you, Mike, for inviting me as the guest for your first webinar of the year. So this is actually our third webinar we've done for Acumatica, and Mike invited me this year to start the year because we actually have two very exciting products that we've rolled out in 2022 with live customers, and we're here mainly to talk about those two products and those two new integrations today in this webinar. And so there's, as Mike mentioned, there's some new partners on the webinar today, and he said you brought on half a dozen or so new partners into the program for Acumatica. And so I'm going to start off with a little bit of a background on TopBuilder and what we do. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because you guys will be able to reach out to us after the webinar and get more information. But I want to give you a little bit of background on TopBuilder, what we do, and what kind of customers we serve. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about the products and the new integrations that we have. When I do a demonstration, if you have ever been to one of my webinars or my speaking engagements, I really like to break it down into, what is it, who is it for, why is it important, and then how does it work. And I have some screenshots prepared on how it works, but I'll also show it to you in TopBuilder and a little bit in Acumatica. And then once we go through each one of those products, we'll leave some time for question and answer and next steps. So it's not going to take the full hour. It'll probably take me about 30 minutes to get through all of this. And then I'll stay as long as you want to ask questions. And then we will be following up with you tomorrow to see if you want to learn more about this. Okay. So I've got a new presentation format here. I think it's pretty cool, but this is the first slide on the background. Okay. So for you all that don't know about TopBuilder, TopBuilder was established in 2008. So we've been around a while, and our focus is on pre-construction or CRM for the construction industry and for home builders. And that is our focus. A lot of people refer to us as a CRM product, but really there's much more than CRM. It really focuses on that entire pre-construction and bidding phase of your job. Okay. And so now this didn't happen accidentally. We have real world experiences in engineering, mechanical engineering. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. Our employees have backgrounds in construction, specialty contracting mainly, and in building materials, and so basically distributorships. I was the CRM manager at Hewlett Packard for 11 years, quite a while ago, but there's a deep CRM background there. And also we have consulting expertise in CRM with some of our employees as well. So it's a pretty good combination there. TopBuilder right now is in Canada, US and Canada, with hundreds of builders across the US and Canada. We may get our first customer outside of that very soon, but right now we're English speaking US and Canada. And we've been an Acumatica partner since 2018. Okay. And I want to introduce you real quickly to Reese. Mike introduced her briefly, but she is leading our new partner program, which is why she's here today. And when I mean new, it's brand new partner program. We can talk about that more at another time, but you know, it's a new partner program with increased revenue sharing opportunities, we're very excited about it, and we're very excited to share it with you. Okay, and so here's really the meat of the presentation. We recently launched 2 major products that tightly integrate with Acumatica Construction Edition. This didn't happen in a vacuum either. These products came from our partners, folks like yourself, who brought this to us and said, we need these solutions. And so we vetted that out pretty deeply and developed the products, but we didn't do it in a vacuum. We did it with customers, real customers, and with our partners. And they're live and they're referenceable, and we're looking to sign up some partners to help us with this. Okay. All right. Again, I've got a new, slide format here. Okay, so let's jump into the first product. We're not 100% sure on what to call it, but it's the residential production subcontractor quoting and product scheduling system. Okay, so what is that? So really, it's a product that helps specialty contractors in their pre-construction, sales, and CRM areas. But what it does is it allows them to quote their jobs to major home builders like Lennar, D.R. Horton, etc. And what they're doing is, like, D.R. Horton will come to them and say, look, we're starting a new development. We're going to build 100 homes in this new development, handful of models, 5 models that we're going to be building. Some of them are going to have different options and, different flavors to those models. And we need you to produce a quote for all of those homes. And then when we go to build them, if we accept your quote, then we're going to hire you to build these models or these homes. Okay. So a huge part of it is quoting these jobs. And they quote by project phase, by the way, and I'm going to talk to you more about this in a minute. but it also allows them to manage their materials and their assembly. So managing all of the materials that they put on a quote or supply a job is a big part of this. What items do we quote on jobs? What items do we install on these jobs? And then they can build out assemblies, and they build out these assemblies by model home, you know, the model home, and then by project phase. So I'm going to build the underground phase if I'm a plumber, then the above ground, so on and so forth. And I'll show you more about this in a minute. But then the really, you know, advanced portion of this, which is the real benefit that these folks are getting, is once the job starts, they can take these quotes, okay, and they can release them into Acumatica to schedule the delivery of the materials to the job. Okay, and it's a sales order in Acumatica, but these sales orders again are released by job phase, and then again they can schedule that becomes scheduled as on top of the job, so they can prepare the materials to be delivered. Okay, and then another big part of this is the forecasting. Obviously, when they're quoting jobs and they have certain materials that they're quoting on these jobs, well, okay, well, when are we going to actually need these materials? It could be June. You know, we're quoting in January. It could be June until they actually start the job. And so what they can do is they can prepare order materials. They can prepare their suppliers, lock in pricing, huge benefit there. And then forecast what's required for all of these jobs that they're doing. And you got to remember, these are D.R. Hortons and Lennars of the world. They're doing thousands of homes. Okay, and planning and forecasting and scheduling is huge, and we're going to show you how they're accomplishing all that. Okay, so who is this for? Okay, this is the who part, obviously, but what we're talking about are what we call production or specialty contractors in the residential area that are working for Lennar and D.R. Horton and the big production builders. Your plumbers, your HVAC, roofing, electrical, all the different trades can use this product, and it provides a tremendous amount of benefit for them, and it also gives them a kind of a leg up, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. When I mean a leg up, I mean when they're working with these big home builders and they have this really sophisticated quoting and scheduling, material scheduling and production system. D.R. Horton's more likely to hire them as a subcontractor, if that makes sense. So there's a tremendous amount of value for these large residential specialty contractors. Let me talk to you a little bit about that value right here. This is probably the most important slide that we're going to look at today. We get this from the customers that are actually using this. Mistakes quoting jobs cost them tens of thousands of dollars per job. And when I say job, I mean one home. So they're quoting a home and they forget something, literally costs them $10,000+ per home. They forgot to include something, okay? They have the incorrect quantities, the wrong cost, the wrong markup, the wrong price. It costs them a lot of money. They got to get it right, okay? And sometimes they're quoting items that are no longer used. And discontinued items is a big deal right now with the supply chain, of course. But a lot of times a home builder, and I'll talk to you about this more in a second, a home builder will say, hey, we're standardizing on Moen faucets instead of Delta faucets. Okay, that's a management headache if you don't have a tool to deal with it. And we have a tool to deal with that, which is huge. Okay, another big problem that we're solving here are returns from the job. So you're going to build 5 homes, you ship all the materials out there, and you order too much product, the wrong items, or even discontinued items are sent to the job and they come back. And obviously that's very costly to the subcontractor. And then of course, if you don't have the right products out there, you're going to experience delays on the project. This helps obviously with your warehouse efficiency, knowing what products we need when for the warehouse huge. And then, like I said before I started this slide, the perception and the professionalism that this provides these subcontractors is a big deal. It looks good to these big subs. Okay, great. Okay, so how does it work? As I'm going through this slide here, I want you to look at the items that are in bold, because these are actually the Acumatica terms that I'm going to discuss today. Okay, so first of all, we're pulling in all the projects and all the customers from Acumatica. We've been doing that for years. That's not new. But what we're also doing is we're bringing in all the stock items and the non-stock items from Acumatica so that they can put those items on a quote. Okay. And those stock items and non-stock items have the cost, the markup, the price, that kind of information, obviously. And we're synchronizing this important information throughout the day for them so that they always have accurate cost, pricing, markup data for the items that they're selling to their customers. Okay. Now, what they're also able to do is they're also able to build out assemblies by project task or phase. I highlighted project task because that's an Acumatica term. I refer to it as the phase, the phase. For instance, a plumber's doing the underground phase, then they're doing the above ground phase, then they're doing the finish phase. Those are the main phases that they deal with. But then they can build out assemblies and the products that are involved in those assemblies by phase. So all the plumbing items that's going underground, HVAC items that are going underground. And then to quote the job, all they got to do is add those assemblies and they can produce a quote. Okay. And so when they quote these projects, they're pretty much quoting by model home. There's nothing to hold it back. I mean, it doesn't actually technically have to be a model, but typically when a subcontractor is going out to build a home, they're quoting that model or that plan, if that makes sense, because that's what they've got. They've got specifications that I've got a stack of these on my desk, by the way. The specifications for the DR Horton 5470, they've quoted this job for years. Okay. But this gives them a really quick and easy way to quote that job, and it's accurate and complete and no mistakes. Okay. Now, once the jobs go live and they become a real job, we push a project into Acumatica by home, and they're also building out cost budgets and revenue budgets and all the things that you should have in there. And then finally, what they do is they release the product into production by generating a sales order in Acumatica. And I know I've talked a lot. I hope I'm making sense, but I'm going to show you some screenshots now on how that works. Okay, so starting off with the quotes, and if you can see the stock and the non-stock items at the very top here, this information that they put on a quote comes directly out of Acumatica and is updated in Acumatica throughout the day. Okay, so you're looking at all of the piping, HVAC materials, there's all the things that they use to build a home, all the materials and labor is in Acumatica. And I think there's also shipping and not what they call non-stock items, labor and shipping and things like that. They're also in there that they're putting on a quote. And so this worksheet here that you're looking at, the item number that you can see in that one column are the item inventory IDs that live in Acumatica. So those are the same inventory IDs. And then the descriptions and all that. Okay. Next, they can kick out this quote. This is a very good looking quote. And it includes more than just this. It includes cover letters and the design specs and scope of work, which I'll show you in a second. Okay. And then this is what the assemblies look like. So they can build out an assembly for a model, and this is the plumbing portion of that model. And then they can group the items into categories. And these assemblies, like I said, are added to the quote. You can see there's default quantities in there. So they can say, oh, if we're doing this model home, the 3010 plumbing, we need 130 of these PVC foam core pipes, right? Okay, and so that actually applies all the default quantities to the quote, and then they can tweak it if they need to. A lot of times they don't, but you can kind of imagine how efficient and effective this is for them. It's really fantastic. Okay, so managing their inventory and managing their items is really important and part of this solution. And as you can see here, what they can do is a find and replace. So there's items that are discontinued or not available, supply chain issues, we all know about that, okay? And so they can simply say, I'm going to take this one item and I'm going to replace it with this item, and I'm going to replace all these assemblies. And by the way, any outstanding quotes that I have, they can check those little boxes, and I want to do a find and replace on those as well. And immediately all their quotes, all their assemblies are updated with the new item with literally a click of a button. Now they can adjust the cost of these if they need to in the markup, because the new item may be more expensive. Okay. All right. Okay, and this is the final piece, and this is where we release the items into production to be delivered to the job. And so what they do is they select the customer, they select the approved quote, and then they pick the job phase. Okay. And then they just send the materials into Acumatica, and Acumatica creates the sales orders, and then they start pulling items from the warehouse and they start shipping them to the job site, and it's beautiful. It's really, really awesome. Okay, so I know you're waiting for this, so I'm going to do this now. Bear with me really quickly. So I'm going to show you this in TopBuilder. Okay, where's my dashboard? There it is, right there. Okay, I'll move this up. Okay, I just want to show you for the new folks what our dashboard looks like really quickly. This doesn't necessarily tie directly into the Acumatica piece, but I wanted you to see this, okay? And then I want you to see what the quote worksheet looks like, okay? And what is really neat about this is you can start quoting your jobs by job phase, and you can say, okay, I'm going to quote the underground phase now. Select that, add the items for the underground phase to your quote, go through, add the above ground phase, done. We're all done there. But what's really neat is you can just apply an assembly which has everything. You can see down here the DR Horton options. This is for a special option for DR Horton. Or for Lennar, this is for a base model house, okay? And there may be another, oh, it was up here. They have a template for a standard 2.5 bathroom house that they'll quote. And this is an assembly. They add it to the quote. The quantities are all populated for them. The costs, the markup, everything's automatically populated for them just by selecting this button right here. Okay. It's wonderful. And then over here on the very right, you can see that it's totaling everything up for them. Okay, you can build a proposal from this real quickly, and I'll just show you what this looks like in TopBuilder. So a proposal, this quote that we just created, you can add a cover letter. You have the quote itself, and then if you keep going through here, you'll see the design specifications, inclusions, exclusions, scope of work, all the stuff that you expect. Okay. And then I'm going to switch gears back over and show you what the assemblies look like. And so for an assembly, like we said, you can build out an assembly. You can add the default quantities in here for each item in an assembly. This is that 2.5 bath house. I get it mixed up. 2.5 base bath. It's really 2.5 bathroom house. This is a base plan, and these are all the items that are going to be included in that plan. Okay. Now, this is how they release the. No, not here. I think. Let me go show you the sales order piece because it looks like I closed that. I'll go into the sales order, create a sales order. I'll go ahead and open this up in a new tab. And so what they can do here is they simply select the customer, they select the approved quote, they select the phase, and then they just select all these items, and then they send the sales order directly into Acumatica from here. Okay. And then again, the sales order is created in Acumatica, the PO is used. If the project does not exist, it'll warn them and say, hey, we don't have a project yet for this quote. And that way then they'll create a project and push that into Acumatica as well. And so real quickly, I'm going to show you a little bit what's in Acumatica. These are the stock items, all the inventory items that are in Acumatica. This is a test system. I don't want anybody to think I'm sharing production, but this is the parts that we integrate with Acumatica. And then of course, in the construction edition, we have the projects that we're pulling from in Acumatica and also creating projects in Acumatica. I'm waiting for that. Okay. I think you all are familiar with that. And then of course the sales order piece as well. Okay. And so some of these sales orders that you see here, they should have come directly from TopBuilder. And yeah, it looks like they have. I'll go click on one of these. Oh, this one's already in shipping status, which is cool. They're already shipping to the job site. Yep. And so you can see the P above, that's the project phase or the project task. And then all the line items for this sales order come from Acumatica. Okay. Really, really cool. All right. I'm going to close all these down and I'm going to talk about the next product real quick. So get your questions ready for this product. Okay. So the next product that I want to show you is the home builder. This is for the home builders themselves. And again, this came from partners and customers, actually. I don't know, Mike, you may remember last year, everybody was sending home builders over to our booth at IBS going, hey, do you have the model option inventory management system and quoting? You know, and so like last year at IBS, around this time last year, we were getting a lot of customers coming to us looking for this stuff. Okay, and we had most of it, but it didn't tie into Acumatica. Okay, so what is it? So this is a product for home builders, and home builders, it gives them the ability to centrally manage all of their models, all of the model elevations, the options that are available for those elevations, and the pricing. Okay, and this is done by community. If you don't know the home builder market that well, every model and every elevation and every option is not available for every community. There's HOA restrictions. There's all kinds of things that make some options available, some elevations available, and some not. For instance, a front, like the picture in the background here, the front-facing garage, not allowed in some neighborhoods. You can't have a front-facing garage. It has to face left or right. So you can't have that elevation on in this community. Some options like fire pits, artificial turf. I could go through a very long list, but they're not available in some communities as well. Outdoor lighting it's weird, but some don't want to have all these lights everywhere outdoors. It's more of a natural community. Anyways, this is very critical for these home builders so they can manage this. But then the persons that are using these features are the agents that's actually working with the customer going, oh, we have these models available in your neighborhood. These elevations are available and these options. And then the inventory, which is the second bullet there, is the homes, the inventory. An inventory can be just a piece of dirt. Okay. So inventory is a lot. We have these lots available. Oh, and on this lot, we're going to build this model. Oh, and on this lot, we've already completed a home, and it's this model, this elevation with these options, and the garage is on the left-hand side. Okay. And it can communicate the status of that inventory as well. Status being it's going to be done in 2 months or it's completed. Okay. I hope this makes sense. Anyways, a very critical part of this is for them to be able to price model elevations and options to the customer and collect a signed contract. Okay, and I'll talk to you about why this is. This customer's under contract for this home. Okay, so that inventory is gone. It's not available anymore. So don't put it on the website and say it's available. And that's part of this. Okay. Okay, so who is this for? This is a pretty large range of builders, candidly. It could be any builder, almost, as long as you're a semi-custom builder, which is almost everybody. Okay. But I would say the ideal builder is 150 homes a year or more, just because of the pricing and, you know, the responsibility to take on more software and more overhead. But any semi-custom builder, anybody that's building a home where they're offering different models, different elevations and options. Now, we get a lot of customers that are coming to us telling us, we're a custom builder and we want to move to semi-custom. It's much easier for them. Okay. And we actually signed up a customer yesterday on this, literally yesterday on this. He's a custom builder and he wants to go to semi-custom. I want to offer these models and these elevations. It's much more efficient for them. Or it could be a complete, a 100% spec builder. You know, we only sell completed specs to somebody that's moving to a semi-custom model. It's a lot of builders. I mean, there's hundreds, thousands of these people out there just in the US alone. Okay, the value proposition. You probably already figured out what the value prop is, but essentially it's allowing a builder to manage all of this information from a central location and then communicate models, elevations, options availability to the communities, to the agents that are sitting in that model home. They'll be able to communicate the pricing, and then the pricing will allow the agents to get to work out pricing with the customer, obviously, because they have updated pricing and updated status. And also they're able to manage the inventory. This home is off the market. It's not available anymore. Now, it's not sold yet until they actually go under contract. I mean, sorry, close on the home. So if you think about home building, you go under contract, it's now reserved. But that home could go back on the market again if they bust out of that contract. And that's why managing this inventory is so important. Okay. So once it goes under contract, it's the home is reserved, but it's not sold until they've actually moved in, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Okay. So again, what we're doing here is the inventory is captured from the projects in Acumatica. Okay. So one project in Acumatica means one home. And for each project or home, we have what lot is it on, what block is it on, what community is it in, what is the address, what is the model, elevation, options, all of that is coming out of Acumatica. Okay. And if you think about it, it grows over time. So it starts off, the inventory starts off with a lot, which is a project with only one lot. And then tomorrow they may have decided, okay, we're going to build this model on that lot. So that information is trickled into the communities, if you can imagine that. And the agent in the communities logs in one morning and goes, oh, corporate headquarters has decided we're going to build this model on this lot now. Let me call all my customers because they were interested in that model. Okay, I'm going off script here a little bit, but I like to tell stories and let you guys know that we really know what we're talking about with this stuff, and we work with a lot of builders. Okay, now the pricing of all this stuff comes from the non-stock items in Acumatica. So all the pricing for your elevations, for all your options, comes from Acumatica. Okay, here's a couple screenshots. I can probably show you this a little better, so I'll go through this quicker. But this shows you how they can manage their models and their elevations and their options. I'll just log in and show this to you. Again, inventory, this comes directly out of Acumatica. Okay, all the projects in Acumatica is inventory in TopBuilder. The model, the elevation, the status of that item, The description ends up being the address typically. What community are they in? What block, lot, start date, so on and so forth. And the job number in Acumatica, of course. This is how they send out the price agreements. So they'll show the base model price. They'll show the standard options. Tankless water heater in this case is a standard option on this home. Zero price typically. They may have upgraded it in this case. But then you have your additional options, granite, third car garage. I'm sure you've heard of all this stuff before. And then that's a price. And they email that to or they send that directly to their customer, and they get a price agreement. Okay. We've heard stories about when people go to sign the contract on these homes, and they at contract time they go, oh, we never agreed to the granite countertops, or oh, we never agreed to that third car garage. Guess what? The builder's eating it in a lot of cases if they don't have this system in place or a way to get price agreement locked in. Okay, let's see it. Okay, so I'm going to log in. I'm going to log out of TopBuilder, and I'm going to log in as a home builder. I'm doing this from scratch, a little raw here, but I think it'll work for you. Okay, and so got a little announcement about new features. I like my I want my KPIs up here. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at what options or models and options are available to me. I can create new ones, or I can edit existing ones. And as I edit this model, I can add elevations. Okay. And so it's this elevation, give it a description. It has a base price. Okay. And what's really, really important, everybody, are these communities. This model is available in only one community. Okay, now it's available in two. Same with an elevation. You specify what communities that elevation is available in. That doesn't make sense, but we'll do this. Okay. Okay, and then the same with the options. Okay, we're going to offer a fire pit. It's an exterior option. It's $6,500, and it's available in these communities. I think you probably know the drill from here. Okay, so then from there, they can actually also build out, they can look at their inventory. So I can go in and manage my inventory directly on TopBuilder. I mean, this is the screenshot I just showed you. But if you look at this inventory really quickly, let's go pick on one. I'm going to pick on one of these here. Okay, all the data is not available yet, but you can see this on this lot 24, block number 2 in the Bryn Mawr community. I've got this model, this elevation, and the availability date. The base price is not available yet. And then this is the job number in Acumatica. That's the Acumatica job number. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'll show you something really neat here. Go pick on a lead that I have. This is a lead in TopBuilder. And in the home preferences, what you're able to do is reserve inventory items for this customer, okay, or specify the model elevation preferences that they want on the home. And then once this status goes into contract signed, that inventory, the 505 Solomon, is now reserved. Okay, it's not sold, it's reserved. Okay, once it goes into home closed, then the inventory is sold, and it pushes this data to their website. Okay, and now their website's updated automatically. So, oh, we sold this one. Okay, super cool. All right. Okay, so that is the deal. I think I stuck to my 30-minute promise, but let's talk about questions if you have any.
All kinds of them.
Oh, really? Nice.
So starting with the production subcontractor software.
Yes, sir.
Does that work for, could that work, I should say, for a remodeling type contractor? Where
Yes.
they're
Yes.
going in, they have assemblies because a bathroom remodel is a bathroom remodel is a bathroom remodel, but they also have options on which cabinets and which sinks. So I'm wondering if by having the ability to build assemblies, if they could kind of use it for one-off remodeling as well.
They absolutely can. And we have hundreds of remodelers using TopBuilder. Now, they're not all using Acumatica, but maybe we can push them in Acumatica's direction, right? And talk about these features. I don't know, but that's an opportunity, I guess, for a lot of you folks to also sell Acumatica, I guess, if you have remodelers like this. But we do have a lot of very high-end remodelers and then some really small ones that are using this quoting module. That's really what the quoting module was built for in the first place. And so they'll quote projects, typically they're not going to show all this level of detail like I showed in the demo. They're not going to show you, I need 15 pieces of pipe. They're going to just say, I'm quoting you this job. And by the way, these are all the things that are going to be included in that job, and not all the detail, not their pricing, not their cost, if that makes sense. And then they can quote it. I'll show you. I might have one of these in here. Did I answer your question? I mean, it was kind of a yes or no question, but
you did. So I'm, there's some opportunities. I've had some, clients in the past that are on some older software, and the assembly estimating for repair work or remodeling work with options would be a cool tool to have in the box, right?
Yes, and like I said, we have hundreds of remodelers using this product.
Right. And on that same subcontract software, you said that it creates the job numbers in Acumatica.
Yes, sir.
Can I still use segments and auto numbering, or do I have to tell it what the job number is going to be and have it assign it?
I think you can. I think, but I don't want to say 100% sure, because the customers that we have using this now are allowing Acumatica to generate the job numbers for them.
Okay.
Just to be candid, but I think when we started putting these customers on this product, we have an auto job number generator, okay, in TopBuilder, and we use a job mask for that. Mask being year number kind of thing. And we sent those over to Acumatica, but the customer said, we don't want that because we may be entering jobs directly into Acumatica, and we want to keep that sequence intact, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
I've seen some other third-party products that, they go to create a project and we find out that they can't deal with segmented product or project codes, right?
We can, yes. Okay. And I hope I answered your question properly. And I'm going to
thank you.
Okay, wonderful. And so I've got some remodeler templates in here to show you kind of what some of those things look like. They upload their selection sheets directly into these quotes to kind of keep going on this a little bit. So they can add, you look here, in this drop-down list for remodelers. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a selection sheet that they can add and upload into here, because you mentioned that. And then also product data sheets, because they may be quoting this particular range or oven or whatever.
Right, this model and all the other info that goes along with the
Yep. But yes, sir. And a lot of times they want to see this. They want to see it, right? And I don't blame them. So, okay. Any more?
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions, Dave. I'm going to read them off to you here. Does the customer or home builder sales rep have the ability to see a visual representation of the model floor plan, or is it just the text?
The documents can be brought into TopBuilder, and there is a document and photo section in on the lead record. But also, just to be clear, I want to show, let me get out of here real quickly. On the items themselves, let me just pull up, I'm just going to pull up a random list of quote items. And if we got a bunch of questions, I'll try to go a little quicker here. But images, I got a t-shirt on this one. But yes, images and documents can be added to individual items. And you can upload those images right in here. And when you send the quote, those images can be added to the quote. And that could be the picture of the elevation, you know, the outside, or the floor plan, or both.
Got it.
Yep.
All right, one other question came in here. What does the approval process look like? A lot of my clients want the opportunity to volley documents back and forth, discuss profit margin, escalate up to a higher level if the dollar values are high, for example. So I think they're asking about approvals in both products.
Okay, so the way that, yes, so the way that works is you would produce a quote and it would be a price agreement first. Okay, and so that's the back and forth and the negotiating that you're referring to. So there's a quote template in TopBuilder, or we'll build one for the client. And that quote template is not a contract. Okay, it's not an agreement, it's a price agreement. And this is the back and forth. Okay, we're going to send you a price agreement for this model, this elevation, and these options. And you can take it home and talk to your significant other about it. And then if you agree to that, we'll flip that into a contract. If you don't agree, decline it and we'll start over, you know. And then in TopBuilder, what you're able to do, let me just pull up a quote real quickly. I manage quotes. Okay, I got my picture there. Go away, picture. There we go. Okay, manage quotes. I'm just going to grab a random quote here. Is you can copy this quote and create a new version of it. Okay, and that way you've kind of got a record or an audit trail of, we started with this price. Now we're going to create another version, and then we're going to send that to the customer, and they want to add and remove options. Or you can send them 3 or 4 different options at one time and say, here's 4 different, you know, quotes, price agreements. You choose which one you want. That makes sense.
Got it. Thank you. One other question came in, Dave. What is the new job scheduling feature?
The new jobs, okay. The new job scheduling feature allows a contractor to take an awarded job, okay, and schedule that by, okay, so here, what we have here is a list of awarded jobs. These are jobs that have been awarded to you, and take that job and drop it directly on to a calendar or a job schedule. They change the dates by dragging the dates out, and then they can go in and they can assign crews, or they can send out subcontractors to the job if they want. And so what they're doing here is they've got an internal crew. I'm going to select this crew. I'm going to add some notes to this, you know, gate code is 123 to get into the gate, or 111. I'm going to assign that crew. And now, excuse me, you'll see the color coding change. That means the blue crew was assigned to this job, the BEK contracting crew. And by the way, I'm going to plug my calendar integration here real quickly. All of these schedules, all of these tasks, all of these bid due dates, all synchronize with their Outlook calendar or their Google calendars. Okay, so these crew members are now going to have this job on their Outlook calendar or their Google calendar or whatever calendar they're using without any plugins, no plugins. It's through the cloud.
Excellent.
How does it determine duration?
You have to drag the handles to set the duration.
So there's nothing like tracks tracks duration or estimated hours and can turn that into an estimate of the job timeline?
Actually, there is. I'll show it to you. There is an estimated start date and an estimated end date. And you can track estimated labor hours, actual labor hours, but that's not connected to the job scheduling piece. They're not
Okay.
connected that way.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Cool.
All right, Dave, this has been a fantastic presentation. Really appreciate you coming on and,
Thank you.
and joining us for our first construction partner webinar of 2023. Some great questions asked by the audience. Got a thank you from our partner Crestwood for answering that question. They'll be recommending TopBuilder to their clients there.
Yeah.
Madison added that in the chat. Thank you, Madison. If anybody else has additional questions, feel free to post them in the chat or come off mute and ask them. Dave, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Reese,
thank you
so much as well. And I know you've got a next step slide up here. I'll let you talk about that for a second.
Yeah, well, this is how you can reach us. Obviously, this is Reese's email address. This is Reese's work number, but you can also go to our website and fill out a contact us form or demo request form. We are going to be reaching out to everybody after the webinar to see if you want to engage or start a discussion about partnerships. And we'd love to be working with you guys. We're very excited about our Acumatica partnership and about working with our resellers.
And from
I was just going to say, this is Reese. Yeah, this is Reese, everyone. I did invite y'all on LinkedIn as well, so look out for my invitation to connect there, and I look forward to meeting you all.
Great, thank you so much, Reese. From a pricing perspective, should they connect with Reese on that, Dave, as well?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This session has been recorded. It'll be available up on our construction partner site. So you'll have the recording. Dave, I'll get you to send me a PDF of the deck that we can share with everyone as well. And appreciate everybody's time today. We'll see, hopefully, all of you at the summit coming up in a couple of weeks, or the Builder Show, or the ConExpo show, or some combination thereof. Really appreciate that, and hope everyone has a great rest of their day, rest of their week. Stay healthy, stay safe, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.